Hey, longtime listeners. This is Shades here to tell you about our brand new Patreon. Guys, we love doing this show. We'll keep doing it as long as you keep listening, but can you help us cover the cost of our audio hosting? You can help us out with support to the show for as little as $1 a month. At $5, you'll unlock some exclusive content and rewards. The first one's up there right now. You can help choose the next batch of episodes. You can find it at patreon.com/shadesansketch. We thank you in advance. Now on with this week's episode.
Our names are Shades and Sketch. After 18 years of keeping our love of fantasy worlds and stories to ourselves, we discovered each other in college, bonded over our similar interests, and let our geek flags fly.
Now, as geek culture becomes more and more mainstream, greedy corporate decisions, constant rehashes and reboots, and an onslaught of toxic fandom threaten to destroy the worlds we hold so dear.
In order to save them, we needed to become someone else, something else.
This is Geeking Out with Shades and Sketch. Do we have a theme song this week, Sketch?
No, Shades, but we do have previously on Geeking Out.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. Oh, hello. This is Sketch.
And this is Shades.
I am the voice of Night Industry 2000's microprocessor.
Oh, hello. Whew. I am Sketch.
And I'm Shades.
Whoa, that was a close one.
It was.
Oh, hello.
Deslagrate muri tempi et internalia!
Oh, gosh, this was a bad idea. What?
Perfect.
Guys,
I mean, if you don't know what we're talking about at this point.
if you don't know the Arrowverse, you have no idea what we just did. I'm sorry, but I'm not that sorry.
I'm proud.
I'm proud of us.
So proud of us.
Guys, if you couldn't tell.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you have failed this podcast.
It's true. That's not your line. In this podcast?
In this podcast.
That is your line.
That is my line.
Guys, if you couldn't guess from our little intro there,
we are talking about
the CW, the CW networks DC universe.
Universe.
Yeah, DC Comics
affectionately
universe.
called by its fans as the
Arrowverse.
Arrowverse, since Arrow was the first show
Started it all.
in that series.
And this is a property. This is a universe that you could almost say this podcast was born out of this universe.
You really can.
Because we started geeking out hard on these shows.
Do you remember when you saw the first episode of Arrow? Do you remember where we were?
No, were we in New Hampshire?
Yes, we were.
Okay.
We were in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
In a firelit cabin.
Yes.
Like huddled around a laptop, watching I had already seen it, and I asked you if you had seen it.
It was romantic.
It was.
It's everything I wanted it to
we
be.
were sipping root beer by the fire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That
watching
really
Arrow. And it was unlike anything we had seen on TV at that point.
Yeah. It was really, really good. And it's been on for what season are they on now?
2014 it started in. This is season 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Season 7. How does that math work?
Well, it's going to go into 2019.
Oh,
so.
okay. So when you're talking the Arrowverse,
yeah,
we are talking about Arrow. Okay, which is based on Green Arrow.
Oliver Queen and Green Arrow.
That's the Green Arrow.
The first spin-off show.
The Flash.
Yes.
Focused on Barry Allen.
Correct.
And his exploits.
Yes.
And then there's Supergirl.
Yes.
Which we'll get into the history in a little bit.
Started on CBS and has made its way over to the CW, which I think is a much better home.
It is much better home, and it is officially part of the
Arrowverse. Yes. Legends of Tomorrow,
which we probably won't talk about much in this episode, but who knows?
Who knows? Well, for a while it was our favorite show because it was so self-aware of itself.
It swings wildly.
It does. It knows exactly what it is, and it swings
very wildly. And then their latest show is Black Lightning. But is that part of the Arrowverse? Like, it doesn't take place? Because I haven't seen much Black Lightning.
I watched the first season, which was web exclusive. It aired on the CW Seed was online only before it eventually ran on CW.
Okay.
To see how it was going to be received. I thought the first season was excellent. I think I recommended it in a previous episode.
Possibly.
The second season just premiered. You know, it's working hard to beat the sophomore slump. It's its first full season. I think it works better. I think all TV shows work better as
shorter seasons,
like 6 to 13 episodes, depending on the show.
Yeah.
I think it's having trouble telling a concise story with 22 episodes.
Yeah.
And that it's not unlike other shows that do that.
Yeah.
I think it does take place in the same universe.
Okay. But Black Lightning, unlike every other character in the other 4 shows, Black Lightning has not interacted with anybody else.
There's no awareness of him. He's not mentioned in any of the other shows, and none of the other shows have mentioned him.
So for the intent of this episode, when we're talking Arrowverse,
we are specifically going to talk about the
latest
crossover, Elseworld.
Yes.
Which, since the second season of Arrow, they've been doing a crossover episode.
Yeah, each year.
And over the course of those years, they have grown in size tremendously.
Especially bringing Legends.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it used to just be Oliver and Barry.
Oliver, we'd get 2 episodes, an episode of Arrow and an episode of Flash.
One in Central City and one in Star City.
And it was just a crossover between the 2 shows.
Fun.
It was.
And then we got a little bigger.
And then aliens showed up.
Oh, yeah.
And
aliens did show up.
And Ollie's like, Barry, give me a minute. I'm just a guy with a bow.
Yeah, that was
Which was great.
Then we brought in Supergirl.
They brought in Supergirl for that one.
And they brought in Supergirl. The Flash had an episode.
The Flash had a crossover, a musical episode.
And Supergirl
CBS.
had no, the Flash episode was on CW and the Supergirl episode was on CBS. But so that was their first interaction.
Right.
And then Barry was able to bring in Supergirl.
Yes.
And then Legends, longtime listeners, Legends of Tomorrow are basically all the B characters.
It's Doctor Who without
Doctor Who
the Doctor.
Meets Justice
Buck
League.
Rogers.
Like it's a team that travels through time, righting wrongs, fixing what do they call them?
Anachronisms. Rip Hunter and the Time Masters.
And it's like all the characters who have shown up on Arrow and Flash, and their story has concluded, but the producers have decided for whatever reason they're good enough to keep around for a show. They get put in Legends.
None of them merit their own show.
Correct.
So they the most recent addition to the Legends is Kid Flash has, I guess he goes back and
personally so happy that
he's not on Flash.
I don't like when Flash had like so many speedsters.
They have I'm happy he's with the Legends.
Yes.
I think he fits much better there.
Yes. So their latest crossover was called Elseworld. To limit our rant and rave section, we're going to focus just on
Elseworld. But we're going to spoilers for any of the Arrowverse shows.
Yeah, because we're going to talk about them before we get to rants and raves.
They're going to naturally have to pop up.
We're going to have to talk about things.
We are. So if you're not familiar with DC Comics and their Elseworld banner that they place on stories, Elseworlds are reimagining of DC characters in settings and scenarios that are wildly out of place for their mainstream story. So
I didn't know that.
Elseworld, a great example of Elseworld is Gotham by Gaslight, which is written by Mike Mignola, creator of Hellboy, and it's drawn in that Hellboy style, and it reimagines Gotham City in like an Edwardian era. It's very steampunk. There are horses and carriages. It culminates at the World's Fair, and it posits Batman fighting essentially Jack the Ripper.
That's cool.
If Jack the Ripper was an American phenomenon in like the 1890s. Great story. They recently turned it into an animated feature, which I highly recommend. I would love to do it on the pod. I think it's that good.
I keep hoping for it to show up on Netflix.
Where did I watch? I watched it on Amazon.
Oh, I have Prime. I should be able to
I had to buy it.
I'm going to keep hoping it shows up on Netflix.
It's $5.99 to rent it.
Yeah.
It was worth it. I really liked it.
All right, I'll check it out. If this were anime, you would call Elseworld the OVAs.
Yes,
of anime.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. Another one that they did was Gods and Monsters, which are just basically like if Batman was basically Morbius from Spider-Man, if he was actually a vampire. It imagines, instead of Wonder Woman is raised by the Amazons on Paradise Island, Themyscira, if Wonder Woman was basically Barda, if she escaped from Darkseid, and how her morality would be different and the way that she valued life.
So big what if scenarios.
What if Zod was put in the escape pod and landed on Earth instead of Kal-El? And Superman was Zod, like the Superman that we knew that lived that existence. What if Zod had been raised by John and Martha Kent?
Yeah.
Like, how would he be different? Instead of Kal-El. So you have a morally corrupt character who has like the genetic imprint of a warlord, but was raised by these good people.
Yeah.
So he'd be called to help Earth, but just ruthless.
Yeah.
So it's all of these reimaginings of characters. Or, another great Elseworld is like Batman and the Ninja Turtles. Or Batman versus Predator.
Oh, can we go back to Batman and the Ninja Turtles? Is that a real one?
It's a real thing. They've done 2 different stories now.
Did the Ninja Turtles go to Gotham, or does Batman go to New York?
In one of them, Batman goes to New York, and in another one, the Turtles go to Gotham.
Fair. I like how fair that is.
It's basically like a CW Arrowverse crossover.
Really,
one episode and one
is. Yeah.
So that should give you a good idea of what Elseworld is.
Okay. But maybe we should explain, before we talk about Elseworld, we should just explain just the basics of the Arrowverse.
Yes. Okay.
Like, who's in it? Not everybody. There's a lot of people.
Sure. Do you want to take this one?
All of it?
Well, you seem to have a clear idea of what you want to say about it, and I'll pepper in here and there.
Well, let's start with Arrow.
Sure.
Oliver Queen.
Billionaire Playboy.
I'm doing a basic synopsis here. He, along with his father, get lost at sea. Both presumed dead.
Yep.
He is found on a deserted island 5 years later, returns to his city. He still plays up the fact that he's the billionaire playboy.
Yes.
But now, by night, he has the resolve to right his father's wrongs.
The Hood. In season 1, they call him the Hood.
And he he looks like Robin Hood. And he goes around, he puts arrows in people. He puts arrows in bad people.
He is writing his father. He thought his father was a good man. His father was a very bad man. And gives Oliver a quest.
Basically, his dying breath is to say,
right out my wrongs,
my mistakes.
Save our city.
Yep.
And Oliver takes that as like...
He takes it and runs with it.
He does. I have a list with all of their names, and I'm going to hunt each one down and murder them.
It's what keeps them alive, keeps them going. Through his murderous rampage.
Through the whole... Every episode of the first season essentially ends with him like running down this person... You have failed this city.
And then he kills them.
And then he puts an arrow in their heart and kills them.
And it's great.
It was like, wow. It was unlike, without Arrow, there could have been no Daredevil.
Sure. I'll agree to that. And over the years, over the seasons, he's had different adversaries.
He has to grow into something more than vengeance.
Yes, he keeps changing. He is no longer a killer.
Yes.
He's trying to be a more morally just hero that Star
Except
City...
that season when he became the new Ra's al Ghul.
Except for that season. So it goes back and forth. Different seasons have different strengths and weaknesses. There's a recurring cast. Obviously, Oliver and his sister Thea and his now wife, Felicity Smoke. And John Diggle, his right-hand man.
Diggle.
And then throughout the seasons, other characters have come and gone. As we are now in the Arrow universe, Oliver has been outed as the Green Arrow. He was mayor.
He was mayor, which was a storyline in the comic.
Yep.
Oliver Queen became mayor.
He was outed by the villain of that season, and he subsequently was sent to prison.
Which is so meta, because long before all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all of this stuff, there was a script called Supermax. And the premise of the movie is that they find out Oliver Queen is the Green Arrow, and they put him in a supermax prison with everyone that he's caught, and he has to survive.
Yeah.
And that was the premise of the movie. It's legendary in the geek community. I can remember geeking out about it with my friend Chad at That's Entertainment Comics. It was one of the first conversations we had because we both loved Green. This was like back in 2007, 6.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Cheater's
You're right.
always
I'm sorry.
a cheater.
Always
That's
a cheater.
what I hear.
It's true.
That's what I hear.
And it never got picked up. But they
kind of did that for season 1
took that
or season 7 part 1,
and made that the first part of season 7,
which was a great.
It was great.
Season 6 kind of lost me a little bit, but I'm a loyal Arrowist, so I kept going with it.
Did not like the villain.
Boy, first
did not
half,
like Diaz.
Yeah, first half of season 7 with, and I'm only saying first half because as of recording, part 2 hasn't.
Part 2 hasn't come out.
So
I think it's really smart now. They've started breaking their seasons into 2 parts rather than having one narrative.
And to end part 1 with this like crossover.
Yeah, end it with that.
Really nice.
It's perfect.
So that's Arrow.
Flash centers on crime scene investigator Barry Allen.
Now, from what if I remember right, they don't say this a lot, but I think he is the fastest man alive.
Yes, that they do every once in a while.
Every once in a while, at the beginning of every single episode,
yes,
we get to know.
And I hate the way he says the Flash. I hate the way he says.
Does he say it that way?
Yes.
No, I probably don't hear him
the Flash
because I'm always at home going the Flash. So I don't hear him say it.
Hilarious. I hate the way he says it.
So Barry Allen first showed up on Arrow.
Yes.
And we were geeking out.
We were like hardcore geeking out.
That's Barry Allen.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that episode, he gets struck by lightning.
And put in a coma.
And a layman would go, Barry Allen has died. But of course, and anyone else in the know.
They just kill Barry Allen? You know, it's kind of unclear.
It was a little vague. But he wakes up now with super speed.
Yes.
And he's the Flash.
Yes.
And he saves the city with his super speed.
Yes. He's the fastest man alive.
And here's what you need to know about Flash, because you probably heard Shades say a little bit about Earth 2, and you're like, what, Shades? What the fuck is that?
There's the multiverse.
The Flash goes so fast that he can do 2 things. He can go back in time and mess everything up, which he does multiple times.
I was surprised they did Flashpoint on TV.
And then he doesn't do that anymore.
No, he's learned his lesson.
He messed things up.
Or if he does go back in time, he's learned to stay on the peripheries.
Yes.
Doesn't bring the suit with him when he goes back in time.
The other thing that he was able to do. He monkeys with
time safely now.
He does.
If there's 2 of you doing it, it's safe.
Sure. Time safety. That's what the country needs more of.
Yeah.
More time safety laws. The other thing he can do is he can go so fast. Everything is so fast.
He can break down the walls of reality.
And he can jump to another Earth. An Earth that exists in another reality. An alternate reality. So
we're talking about string theory.
Yes.
And that every choice that you're posited with in your life, every consequence plays out. It's not like I made this decision and that happens. Like every possible decision and consequence is taken to its end, and a whole nother universe is created where that choice. So like
pretty much an infinite number
of
there's so many of us and so many people.
An infinite number of realities and possibilities and timelines, and Barry can jump between them.
And that is how we met Supergirls, because he went so fast.
He
broke through, ended up on her Earth, because Supergirl could not belong on our Earth because Oliver Queen
is just a guy with a bow.
It's just a guy with a bow, and his show deposits a world where there are no heroes, really. There aren't what you would consider to be superheroes or masked heroes.
Right. Metas did not exist in his universe until the first season of The Flash.
Yes.
Like when Barry gets struck by lightning, that's when metas came into being in his reality.
And then you could always make the argument, then how come Superman didn't stop all these things from happening? Because
there's no Superman either.
There's no Superman on this Earth.
This is a reality in which Krypton didn't explode or Kryptonians did not escape.
Yeah. So
there is no Superman, there is no Supergirl.
So let's get to where Barry. So every season he was fighting a different speedster.
Yes.
I'm glad they've walked away from that.
They've walked away from speedsters. That was getting ridiculous.
It was hard to listen every episode to I'm the fastest man alive.
And then
except you're not, because there's someone faster
speedster
that you're trying to get faster than.
Right.
And now you can go back in time and you can breach.
Right.
How are people faster than you?
Yeah. So Flash has brought in his cast of characters. They've brought in Cisco Ramon, that you might know if you read the comics. He's a Justice League member called Vibe. He can create breaches and travel through realities and kind of control the multiverse. He also gets premonitions when he touches things about other possibilities and choices. They have Caitlin Snow on the show.
AKA Killer Frost.
AKA Killer Frost. Killer Frost 2 in the version of history in the DC universe when Killer Frost 2 was not a villain.
Yeah. For those of you paying attention.
Yeah. She's so this version of Killer Frost it's kind of like it's interesting. They it's like a dissociative personality. They leave notes for each other.
Yeah, I like it.
Which is I really like
where they've gone with,
with Caitlin used to be my least favorite.
Yeah, and she's like skyrocketed to the top of the list.
Yeah, she's up there now. I really like her story, particularly this season.
She's not my favorite character. I'll tell you who my favorite character is in a little bit.
Ralph Dibny?
No, he's not my favorite character.
I didn't think
he's fine. Was. Like, he's fine, but he's
when
not
they
my
brought
favorite.
in Plastic Man, I was surprised, to say the least.
Especially
did not see that coming.
I would say, as a society, as a culture, as a civilization, I think we can say safely that we have reached the point in time where we can pretty believably depict super fast people in live action shows.
Agree.
I don't think we're there yet with stretchy powers.
No, I don't think we'll ever
really
get there.
don't think we're there with stretchy powers.
Please stop rebooting the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. So the Flash has become
Did you see, just total aside, did you see that they finally posted the 1970s made for TV Fantastic Four TV series?
No. So what? Where?
On YouTube?
No.
It's terrible.
No,
it is
take a peek.
God-awful horrific. And the way they did like Reed Richards stretching, they like gave him a steady cam and he put his hand on it. Or they like just had he would be out of frame and you just see his hand and it would just be like walking away with the handy cam. And they like
making great audio. Shades is just like
reaching towards you.
Choking
or like using
a
fisheye lens to like make his hand big.
Gross.
It's bad.
Yeah. Is that not a recommendation for this episode?
That is not a recommendation. Okay. I'm just saying, like, stretchy powers have not improved.
No, they have not. They just don't. I mean, I'll tell you the best place it's ever been, Incredibles 2.
Incredibles 2?
Yeah. I mean, we hit the pinnacle there.
We did.
So we can stop trying.
And that is a medium in which it works really well.
Oh, animation.
Keep it in animation.
Yes. That is where it'll work. Live action, not so much.
I'm interested to see what the Doom Patrol movie, television series will do, because Elastigirl is a character. Yeah. And she predates Elastigirl in Disney, Pixar, by
they must be so pissed.
50 years.
You know, Disney wouldn't allow that to happen.
Disney would not allow that to happen.
No.
But DC Comics is like,
good on you,
sure.
DC.
You know what?
Like, hey, you know what?
Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Exactly. Let's just spread the love.
Yeah.
So anyway, Barry is at the point in his story now where his daughter
from the future
has traveled back in time to spend time with her father, because we have found out that Barry Allen has gone missing in the future.
In the
presumed
crisis.
Dead.
In the crisis.
Yes.
Like when you say the crisis, we're talking crisis on multiple Earths and or crisis on infinite Earths, which is the event that collapsed the multiverse.
And his daughter's name is Nora, and I adore her.
Yes.
I love
And her
Nora.
code name is XS.
Yes.
Like letter X, letter S.
Which I also like.
She's fantastic.
She is wonderful.
Yes.
I have said from the very beginning, I'm not a fan of Barry and Iris. I've never been a fan of Barry and Iris.
I don't think they have chemistry.
I don't think they have chemistry.
Not
Iris,
in the way that Felicity and Oliver do.
No. They have true chemistry.
They do.
I do believe their love. Iris, and I have a problem with the Barry Allen, Iris West thing too.
She's basically his sister.
They grew up as siblings.
Yeah. Joe West,
they grew up
police
as
captain,
siblings.
Adopted Barry Allen after Barry's dad, played by John Wesley Shipp, who was the 1991 version of Flash.
And Flash does this a lot, where they bring in actors.
All the Arrowverse shows do. They do it on Supergirl too.
They do it on Supergirl too. I feel like on Arrow they haven't done as
much. Yeah, you're right. They haven't, because there's no
one really. Yeah, but on the Flash, so they brought in the original Flash. They brought in Mark Hamill
to be the original Trickster.
Yep. They have fun.
So John Wesley Shipp is believed to have killed Nora Allen, his wife, Barry's mother, and Joe West
takes in
Barry and raises him as his son alongside of his
daughter Iris. And they grow up as brother and sister, and Barry just loves Iris his entire life.
Barry has had a hard on for her since day one.
And
it's awkward.
She never returns the feeling until all of a sudden she does.
Yeah.
And now they're like head over heels in love with each other.
After her fiance is murdered. By Barry.
Well, he kills himself.
He creates the events that
he kills himself.
Lead to his death. Yeah. He does kill himself.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Set aside the fact that they're basically brother and sister. Okay, fine, whatever.
If longtime listeners have never seen these shows, they're like, what the fuck?
Yes. I feel the worst for Joe because like he has to look at like the kid who he's raised as his son, and
they did a couple of episodes like that after Barry had asked Iris to marry him and they moved in together, or they hadn't moved in together yet. And Joe was like, just don't kiss each other in front of me, please.
And that's fair.
That is very fair.
I think that's very fair. And yes, I know they're not biologically related.
That's like they are siblings for all intents and purposes. They were raised as siblings.
I guess this is gonna sound weird.
Is it?
Yeah, okay. I'll still say it because we're weird.
Go for it.
I am more comfortable with a premise like Luke and Leia, where they didn't know they were related, but had like some sort of chemistry in the first movie.
You sick son of a bitch, that's gross!
As opposed to this premise where there is no biological...
They boned off screen, right?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
No biological relation to them, but for all intents and purposes, emotionally, in their heads, they are brother and sister.
Right.
Like, that's worse to me.
Yeah. That is worse.
Okay, good. So I'm not crazy here?
You're not crazy. Okay. That is, it's so much worse.
What a day. Anyway, putting aside that weird relationship, I always had a hard time with him. Less so about the incestuous implications and more so with just like, I didn't believe their
chemistry.
Their chemistry. I guess I always believed, I at least believed it from Barry's point of view. Like I did believe that he loved Iris. I've never really felt that
Iris never gave him the time of day.
Yeah.
Until
very strange.
Yeah.
But to me, it's all been made worth it.
For excess.
To get Nora.
Yeah,
she's
great.
Just awesome. She is such a character.
Flash had a really rough season last year.
Yes, it did.
Flash was not good last
year. And I liked the villain. I liked that last year.
DeVoe.
It wasn't a villain he had to outrun. It was a villain he had to outthink.
Yes.
I liked that better.
I agree with you, but it just did not.
It didn't pan out. It didn't pan out the way
it didn't work. It wasn't good.
But this season's going good.
This season's great. This has, in my opinion, given The Flash another 3 seasons at least.
Bold.
It is, once again, I think, the best of the shows.
Right now, Barry Allen is tracking down a metahuman who can strip people of their powers.
Cicada.
And then kill people.
Yes.
And Nora has told him that from the future, this is a villain he was never able to defeat.
Yes.
So he's up against knowledge from the future that he's never defeated it, but he's got to come up with a way. That's where Barry's at right now. And then Supergirl, there's a little bit too much real world in my fake world right now for me.
There
is a lot of real world in my fake world.
I think this is the strongest season of Supergirl.
So far. Yeah, I agree. The CBS season, the first season of Supergirl.
I miss Win.
I do miss Win too. The first season of Supergirl was on CBS, and it had a very different feel from the CW
Oh, it was very different.
I stuck with it, but I did not care for it.
I did not either. Because it was very derivative. So Supergirl is a show that posits girl power.
Yes.
And good. I think we need a show that does that. Like we need to remind like people, and comics have always done this, not always well, but they always have. Being a superhero is not gender specific. There are great LGBTQ heroes out there in the world. There are great male heroes in the world, great female heroes in the world, heroines if you prefer.
Do you prefer heroines?
I don't.
I don't either.
No.
I just like to say hero.
Actor.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we need.
Plus heroines is like heroin.
Right. Cook me up an 8-ball.
Yeah.
Leave me in the corner.
Leave my heroin at home.
Right.
I want my
This
heroes
is not
over
the
here.
heroin episode.
This isn't the heroin episode, but guys, doing a lot of research for that episode.
Long-time listeners,
it's gonna be a good one.
Cannot see sketches like tweaking out over here.
I was going to make a joke about doing heroin, and here's the thing. I don't even know how you do heroin. Is that an injectable?
Well, like, here's the thing. Like, I think somebody said this in a stand-up routine. I can't remember, but like, any drug that you do is not good. Like, you don't do weed.
Oh, yeah.
You smoke weed.
You don't
do.
Oh, yeah.
Like you don't do
alcohol.
Alcohol.
You drink alcohol.
But
you do crack.
You do crack.
You do heroin.
You
do meth.
And they all kill you.
Yeah.
Or like make your bones fall out of your body.
This isn't the heroin bone falling out of your body episode. That's later.
Like all your teeth fall out of your head.
Oh.
If you have to inject something into your eyeball.
Is that how you do heroin?
Some people do because their veins collapse.
Oh, God.
Like, you have...
Guys, this is supposed to be a light episode, too, and we're getting deep into this. Okay,
wow.
so Supergirl started out problematic because it was rah-rah girl power. It got
two girl power.
But it was weak.
It became derivative because the weekly resolve to the problem was because Kara was a woman that she was able to do this.
Yes. And
not that she was a hero.
Or had resolve or
power,
quick thinking.
But she had those things because she's a woman.
Yes.
And that's not good storytelling.
And usually the downfall of a villain is that they're a man.
She beat a villain by kicking him in the balls
within like the first 3 episodes.
Yes. And it's
problematic.
It's bad writing.
It doesn't do a favor to either.
Was it funny? It should have been. Was it funny? It was not. Why? Because it was weak storytelling.
It was. And
you and I actually had a disagreement at the end of Elseworld about this.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think it didn't work, but I explained it away in a way that you were like, "Oh, okay, I get that. I agree. I agree with that now."
I forget that, but so when we get to Elseworld, let me know what it was.
Yep.
Then Supergirl, after a problematic first season, it continued on, but on CW.
On CW, they moved production to Vancouver.
They gutted the cast, introduced some new characters. I wouldn't say they gut the cast, but they took out.
Didn't want to leave LA.
Flockhart didn't come back.
She didn't want to travel.
That Max guy didn't come back.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah, there were a couple people who just didn't come back.
Max Lord, who was the Checkmate.
Yes.
They abandoned that whole thing.
Yeah, and so it was almost like a hard reboot.
It was.
And it came back.
Strong. It was a strong second season. That was the invasion episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
The invasion series.
With Mon-El.
There were 2 invasions in the crossover and then the Kryptonians from Condor.
Kryptonians. So they came back. And then this last season, they've been getting a little...
I'm sorry, not Kryptonians, the Daxamites.
Yes. And this last season, they've been getting a little too preachy again. In the point where, like, do I mind when those messages are in my show? No. But
but again, it can't be so derivative that it's bad.
And I want it to be subtle and something that I can feel like to myself, like, oh, I'm making that connection.
Right.
Instead of it throwing it in my face.
Or like, oh, that's not good. Oh, I've done that in my, I shouldn't do that anymore.
Let me have that moment of self-discovery.
Yes, not like, you are a bad person if you do these things or believe these things.
Yes. They've also been taking out a lot of the male characters.
They have removed virtually all the male characters except for Jimmy Olsen. And they added Brainiac 5.
Yes. And
Jean is a part-time player.
Yeah. And it worries me.
It is.
It worries me the like, well, where are we going from it? Like, what's the purpose behind this?
Right.
If it's to help you make your point, then that's a bad decision.
Again, when you put it in someone's face,
you're making your point not well enough.
You want wow, the female leads of this show are awesome. Like, hey, there are no men left on this show.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Well, here's a good example.
Alex,
Alex is now Alex is Kara, Supergirl's adopted sister, and she's been an agent of the DEO, which is this government organization.
And now she's the head of it, right?
She's the head of it because John stepped down and has like basically left. So like.
She is his hand-picked successor, but she did not get appointed to the job.
Correct. And because he's not there anymore, like
the whole world knows he's an alien on top of it.
She hasn't like succeeded him. She hasn't.
Yeah, she's still living in his shadow. She still runs to him all the time when she doesn't know how to handle the situation.
And she's not being her own leader. She's being just, what would John do?
Right.
Kind of a thing. Instead of having the opportunity where like John's kind of still there and she's surpassing him.
Yeah.
That would be stronger.
It would.
Same thing with like Mon-El. And I agree that Mon-El had to go because I mean, that could only go so far. But like, it just feels like, okay, now Kara can shine.
Yes.
Because he's not here anymore. And now you'll really see how good Kara could be. It's like, no, we should be able to see how good Kara could be despite Manal being there.
Yes.
Anywho. So right now she's up against basically Nazis, like their version of modern day Nazis.
Modern day white supremacists. Or they're not white supremacists, they're like human supremacists. They want to remove all aliens from the planet.
And
spoiler alerts, the president, Linda Carter, was an alien. And now everybody knows it.
And to be fair, I mean, I'm not siding with Nazis, but like in this world, I get why these humans are unhappy.
They were just 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago or 1 season ago?
They've been attacked by aliens twice now in 2 years.
Twice in 2 years, yes.
And and there's been all these pro-alien treaties signed where you think it's two sides coming together, and they just found out their president has been an alien all along.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, who's...
Whoops, wait a minute. Who's been negotiating
looking out for humankind? And I'm like, okay, I get that, because there is a clear separation there between aliens and humans. It's not like a race problem on Earth where you can be hey guys, we're all humans. We're all on the same team here.
Right.
Nope,
so it's there's a clear deception that
trying
took place. Yeah. It doesn't work as nicely.
No, it does not. But hey, they're swinging for the fences.
They are.
And that brings us to Elseworld.
This year's crossover event.
Between the 3 shows. They decided to keep Legends out of it this year. Legends was in it last year.
Legends has been in the last 2.
Keeping Legends out of it was a wise decision.
It's when the
Legends team is big.
There's too many characters.
And you can't do that much with everybody.
You can't do
so you might as well focus on 3 and make it cool.
Or give them a crossover with like Black Lightning.
Sure. Or let Legends cross over with previous Legends who aren't on the show anymore.
Yeah, like they've brought in the Justice Society.
Yeah. That would be a cool crossover.
They have a member of the Justice Society.
They do.
On the team.
Is she still on it? Yeah, she is still on it.
I think so, right?
Yeah, the one who can take on.
Or her daughter's on the team. Amaya is on the team.
And so
I'm sorry. Amaya is the member of the Justice Society, and Amari is Vixen.
You got that, long-time listeners?
Yeah.
It's going to be on the test. It's going to be on the test at the end of the episode. Patreon subscribers don't have to take the test.
Is Vixen that we know.
There you go.
This is her mother, who was a member of the Justice Society.
Perfect.
So, like, we know how her story ends, and we know that she has to go back at some point in order for Mari to be born.
Right.
So her story has a time limit on it. Doctor Who did this a long time ago.
This did.
One of the companions, the Doctor steals her, and then they did it again with
they did
Clara.
do it again with Capaldi and
Clara. One of the Doctor's companions has to die in order for the universe to continue, and the Doctor steals her from time. The moment before her death.
Gives her some adventures.
Gives her some adventures, and then returns her to the moment of her death because she has to die.
Fixed point in time. Yeah.
This is not the fixed point in time episode. This is not the fixed point in time episode.
Obviously, because we're not going about the Flash. The Flash doesn't care about your timeline. Does your blood boil when we talk about the Flash? Because he is just so anti-timeline.
Yeah.
Like, he is just like, he's the reverse Shades.
It is the Elseworld crossover, which we should probably start talking about.
We should probably start talking about the Elseworld crossover. Yeah.
This is going to be
There's a lot to talk about with the Arrowverse.
This is a very messy episode. Okay, I'm going to have to edit it.
What are we going to... We had to give backstory of all the characters.
So, Elseworld. The Monitor gives the Book of Destiny...
Some dude.
Dr. John something.
Yeah, so just some
He's
dude.
An actual character from comics.
Mm-hmm.
And tells him to think big and rewrite the universe. Mm-hmm. And his grand scheme is to make Barry Allen, Oliver Queen,
and
Oliver Queen, Barry Allen.
So Oliver Queen is the Flash,
and it's not Freaky Friday.
It's not Freaky Friday. Is it more like a Quantum Leap?
It's not Quantum Leap because if they look, they would only see themselves when they look in the mirror.
Oh, right.
But Barry and Oliver both have the knowledge. That was a great trope.
Yes, I love
Barry and Oliver both look like themselves and have prior knowledge. So it's neither Quantum Leap.
Only themselves, though. No one else
they know that it's wrong. So Oliver Queen, our Oliver, is Barry.
Yep.
And Barry is Oliver. And they have each other's histories.
Yep. And skill sets.
And powers. And powers.
Yep.
Stephen Amell, Oliver Queen, wakes up in bed with Iris West Allen.
Woo!
And she calls him Barry.
Woo!
And
makes him breakfast.
Woo! And
says, hey, brother.
Yeah.
And
Barry is training with Diggle at Argus.
And then he kicks Diggle's ass. And he's like, oh my God, I'm Oliver Queen. Yeah. And so we have an episode of them trying to fill each other's shoes.
Right.
And that's fun.
And then
we figure out a way. Oh, we bring in Supergirl.
Because
no one believes them.
No one believes them. So they steal the quantum extrapolator thing and they jump to Supergirl's universe.
Yep. And she recognizes them for who they are.
Immediately.
Because she hasn't been overwritten. Right. She's on a different Earth.
Yes.
And so they bring her back with them.
Well, also because, she's from a different Earth. So nothing that happens in their reality affects her.
Right. And so they bring her back to her Earth to kind of like make the case.
Right.
And in doing so, kind of uncover the plot that's going on. And to save it, to find this book and go up against this doctor, they have to go to Gotham.
They have to go to Gotham.
Which we've never gone to Gotham before in the Arrowverse.
Such a shithole.
This is why no one talks about Gotham.
No one talks about Gotham.
They're held up almost immediately as soon as they get there.
This is why nobody goes
This is why no one talks about Gotham. That's what he says. Which he basically turns to the camera and winks. Because audience members for years have been like, when are we going to Gotham? Right. Why don't we hear about Batman?
It is such a shithole.
Yes. It's a horrible
that
place.
They are held up in broad daylight within moments of getting there.
Yes.
I love... okay, let's not get to rants and raves yet. Okay. But...
so they meet
the Batwoman.
They meet the Batwoman. And they recover the book. To right wrongs, but the Monitor gives the book back.
Back to Dr. John something. He's a doctor at Arkham.
Yeah. And he urges him to think even bigger.
And he reimagines himself
as Superman.
And because he has the book and he can see into other realities.
Yep. And this time, everything is rewritten.
Everything is rewritten.
Everyone is someone different. Everyone is an alter ego. It's almost bizarro.
The police are Malcolm Merlyn.
Yep.
Diaz and
somebody else I didn't recognize.
The guy that doesn't feel anything.
And the guy that doesn't feel anything.
I can't think of his name.
And Jimmy Olsen is like
a
thug.
Hey. Superman's worst pal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
and
that.
Cisco is like the underground mob boss. And
he's like the Penguin of that world.
Caitlin Snow works for the DO, which is under the thumb of this evil Superman.
Yes.
And keeping Supergirl locked up and blah, 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 blah.
They operate out of the Star Labs.
Yes.
That's the new DEO.
And does Barry have his powers back? Because I know Oliver's back to being...
Neither of them have their powers.
Neither of them have anything back.
They're the Trigger Twins.
They're just the two of them.
Who are just another set of DC bottom tier...
Perfect.
Like Green Arrow... Batman villains.
And so they have to figure out a way to defeat Superman.
Yes.
Just two normal Joes.
Yeah.
With nothing but
they're infamous outlaws, the Trigger Twins.
Yes. And with nothing but their previous knowledge of their previous realities.
But they do not have powers.
They don't have powers. Yet.
I guess Oliver has his powers because
his powers are really derived from like his memories of his like training.
Right. So he is able to like ricochet a bullet off and like make a crane fall. At one point.
When do they get their stuff back? I don't remember.
They do not get their
They get their book back a little bit at the end and start getting some things back, don't they?
They are able to, at some point, get the book and get their powers back, then they lose the book again.
Yeah, they lose the book again, but at least it's Green Arrow and Barry Allen.
By that point, they needed to. The shtick was old.
And there you go. There's Elseworld. They have to figure out how to beat Superman. Do they? Yes, they do.
Yes,
okay,
they do.
moving on.
It's black, and Superman has a black suit because
Superman has a black suit because he's evil.
He's evil, and people have been like teasing black suit Superman, this and that, and the DC extended universe is a fucking mess.
Yeah, so we finally got
Henry Cavill was supposed to be in black suit, and he wasn't, and people want to see it, so they did it, and it was awesome.
It was great. It
was
really great.
It was a great way to use black suit Superman.
Now you said that what's his name, the doctor? We'll just call him the doctor.
Deegan, Dr. John Deegan.
Dr. John Deegan. Not to be confused with John Diggle.
Not to be confused with John Diggle.
At all.
Dr. John Deegan.
Okay, side note. Don't you love when the Flash came in from the alternate Earth and was like, oh, hey, John, where's your ring?
Right.
I was like,
yes.
Oh, my God.
Oh, when
is John Diggle the Green Lantern on that Earth?
That's amazing. Yeah.
And it immediately I wanted a show.
Yeah.
I wanted a show.
Where John People have been like saying John Diggle should be a Green Arrow. That's like a thing in the
Green Lantern, you mean?
Yeah, Green Lantern.
Yeah.
In the fan community for years, like make Diggle a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
John Wesley Shipp, who was the Flash from 1990 to 1991. He plays Barry's dad on the show. He plays Jay Garrick, the Silver Age Flash that kind of looks like Quicksilver. He has the metal helmet.
Yep.
They brought back this Elseworld story starts on Earth 96.
Earth we've never seen before.
And it's basically the Earth where all of your 90s superhero shows take place.
Yep.
And John Wesley Shipp's Flash
And they're all dead.
wearing the suit.
Yeah, it was great.
It's not the exact one.
No, but it was supposed to be.
Yeah, the suit that he wore on that show escapes.
Yep.
And there's red lightning following Barry and Oliver through the whole episode. And it's John Wesley Shipp, Barry Allen,
trying to deliver the message.
To them. And he finally does. And Barry says, Jay?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm Barry Allen.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, no, you're not. That was great.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
It was so cool. So and this universe does that a lot. But this was a big one.
Is so
this
iconic.
one was a big one.
There are elements of that suit that I like much better than Barry's current suit.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Barry's current suit.
I have a big question
At least
about
it fits
suit.
in that ring. What was I going to say? The doctor. You said that he can see into other realities. I'm not convinced he can see into other realities.
Only because he has the book.
But I thought one of the
reasons,
monitor
shows him other realities.
I thought one of the reasons though he locked up Kara was because he couldn't see her, didn't know where she came from, and was a variable in his plan. And he copied her powers. Because she made that thing about like, you copied all my powers, but not my gender.
I think you're right.
Because she's Supergirl.
I take that back. I think you're right.
Yeah. It was like an anomaly. He couldn't read her. So
he couldn't affect her because she wasn't from that universe.
Yeah. And so he just locked her up.
He just locked her up in the pipeline and took her powers.
Yeah.
Correct.
Do you, before we get into rants and raves and stuff like that, are there internet scores for this Elseworld thing?
Maybe. I looked. I didn't find them, but maybe there are.
I mean, it's weird. It's just an episode, so it
was 3 episodes.
It's strange. From the buzz I saw on the social media platforms, it was getting some good buzz. If that means anything.
Oh yeah.
I think it was pretty well liked in the Arrowverse community. Yeah.
I agree. I don't see any.
That's fine. Let's just give the most important scores.
There have been 5 of these crossovers at this point. I don't really count the first one because that was like just introducing Barry Allen.
Yeah, I'm not counting that one.
And the big issue, they always fizzle. They start strong and then fizzle isn't even the right word. They fall apart.
They deflate very quickly.
They pop. By the 3rd episode, they just fall apart.
It's almost like they run out of time and are like, "Oh shoot, we got
these characters that we got to work." Yeah, we need another 3 episodes to wrap this up.
Yep.
And for my money, I feel like until we saw Elseworlds, I was like, just stop doing crossover events. And like Legends is already a short run. They already only do 13 episodes. Build Legends. Yeah, they shrink Legends or build it out and just do the crossover on Legends and send Oliver and Barry to the Legends and have them do an adventure and just do it that way. Where like for 4 shows, Oliver and Barry, they're with the Legends.
They're taking care of something.
Do it that way. Because there's just too many people to bring in from Legends into 4 episodes.
But then they do Elseworlds.
It is, I don't know how to score it, but it is by far my favorite.
It's my favorite. It is my favorite one.
I guess I would give it like a 90.
Yeah, I gave it an 88. Okay. So we're like right there.
Great.
If it weren't for the Supergirl episode, I would give it much higher.
The Supergirl episode was really problematic.
The problem with the Supergirl episode for me was that they were like, I don't know, let's bring in the writer from season 1 and write some of these lines.
Well, I don't know if they actually did that, but that's...
I don't know if they did that, but...
They tried to bring in a lot of Smallville to Supergirl.
Yeah.
Which is like, if you're going to... They teased that they were going to bring Tom Welling's Superman into continuity.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to save it and do it for Crisis. Maybe. Like there'll be 2 Supermen in Crisis and like Tom Welling's Superman, which is below... Guys, Smallville ran for 11 years.
Wow. I never watched Smallville.
I watched Smallville. I watched the first season and then I watched the last 3 seasons when they brought in Oliver Queen.
Big gap. You're a big Ollie fan.
I'm a big Oliver Queen fan.
I am too.
Oh, they tried to bring in all these Smallville references. They introduced Lois Lane, the Kent Farm at the beginning that they go to where Kara-El lives is the farm from Smallville. They reference a lot of that's the actual farm that they used on Smallville.
That's fun.
It is, but it's like
didn't belong in the crossover.
Didn't belong in the crossover. Maybe that's what they were teasing, that they were going to eventually. It doesn't even make sense now if they bring in Smallville.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's neither here or there. But it was more about Superman than it was about Supergirl. And they introduced Lois Lane. We've never seen her before.
No. She's been referenced
a lot,
but she's never been seen.
But it's just like Lois Lane's a badass. We're not going to show you that she's a badass. We're going to tell you that we're not going to prove it to you. She's
just going to act like she's always been all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was frustrating and problematic.
Also, my issue with the Supergirl episode is when they do these crossovers, like the Flash episode is still a Flash episode, even though it's a crossover.
Yes.
The Arrow episode is still an Arrow episode, even though it's a crossover.
Yes.
By the time I got to Supergirl, it was like, okay, if you were going to have these Supergirl characters come into the story, they should have come in earlier than in the final act.
Right.
If they're going to be a part of the big finale.
Right.
You know? I don't know why they don't do that.
I also don't know why they do that, because they all shoot in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, well, when they did the Supergirl crossover in the first season, well, they had to send
Grant
Gustin to LA.
Yeah.
They're all in Vancouver now.
Yeah.
So just shoot together.
Yeah. Honestly,
it's not hard to like send someone over to a different set. I guess they shoot at different times of the year is the thing now, because Kara's apartment is Barry and Iris's apartment.
Oh, is it really?
It's the same set. They just dress it differently.
We can't even say it's different sets because like they're all in Star Labs.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
They clearly all shoot in the same.
Yeah. And the Supergirl characters were there. Like Alex was on the team with Diggle and
yeah, you're right. I take that back.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand why maybe it's just like they're used to doing it that way.
Maybe.
I don't know. Didn't work. It was definitely the weakest of them. And it's unfortunate it was the last one because it kind of fizzled again.
Yeah. It's the last taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any raves?
I don't often think of them as having good chemistry. Grant Gustin and Stephen Amell have really great chemistry.
So good.
Oh my God.
If anything were to ever happen to the shows Arrow and Flash, I would want them to bring back just like a buddy show. Just the two of them.
Give me a Brave and the Bold. The two of them. They
are so fun.
I'm just waiting for, all right, where are they?
Yeah.
Where are what? The remote control crossbows. Just do it. I know you're going to shoot me in the back. I'm like, oh, you didn't see it coming. What the hell, Barry?
I complained a lot less when you shot me.
Yeah. I was teaching you how to use your powers. You just did that for a laugh.
They have great chemistry.
They have great chemistry.
Did I write that down?
Are you puffing out your chest? Yes.
Yes.
When they meet
Superman for the first time. Which, like, chest? Oliver shouldn't even know who Superman is or anything like that. But he knows he's related to Supergirl. So it's like, oh, that was so good.
That was so good. It was so well written.
And here's my biggest rave for Elseworld. Why I think it's so much better than all the others. It was just really fun.
Yeah.
Like it was just fun. Like, let's just have fun with it. Let's not tie this into the stories of everyone going on right now. It's just a fun...
Guys, Batman is not real. He's an urban legend. I am the original vigilante crime fighter.
It is funny how...
Oliver Queen
does not believe in the Batman.
He's been to the future. He's been to the past. He's been to an alternate reality. He's met and fought aliens.
Wait, Barry Allen.
Sorry, Oliver.
Oliver's been to the future and the past?
Okay, no, he hasn't. I'm sorry. I take that back.
But he's met aliens.
Oh, yeah, he has. He's like interacted with the legends.
Oh,
Didn't he go with them on the wave?
Yeah, with that last.
So he's aware of time travel, but he doesn't believe in the Batman. Even after they find the Batlight,
and it's like
the Bat signal,
that
does not believe in the Batman.
Stubborn,
because it really is. I'm the original vigilante crime fighter.
How could there not be? Especially because Batman, like, what did Batwoman say? That Batman left? He left 5 years ago or something, like, which is basically
when Oliver showed up.
Yeah. it was just a lot of fun.
It was.
Just from start to finish.
So
even the Supergirl
fun.
episode was fun. Especially like the Bizarro aspect where you were like meeting all the characters from what we know, and they were a different
every reality reset was fun, where they had to convince everybody that they were who they said they were over and over again.
That was fun. Just because we talked about Gotham and Batman.
Gotham was so great.
I loved Gotham and I love Batwoman.
Yeah, Ruby Rose is Batwoman.
Yeah.
They're talking spin-off show.
I love it.
I would love it.
Just based on what I saw. And it's not like that we saw a ton, but what they did really good.
Really well.
And this is another instance. We talked a little bit about this in Spider-Verse. We did Spider-Verse. When you say things like, well, why can't so-and-so be...
Why can't Batman be...
Why can't be a Batman or be a woman? Or something like that, you know? But we already have Batwoman.
Right.
Why don't we just bring in Batwoman?
Yep.
That is basically just Batman.
Do they ever call her Batwoman?
I don't think they do. I don't know if they show like a newspaper clip or something of like the Batwoman or something like that.
I hope they didn't.
But
because like if you're a criminal and you got just your ass handed to you by Batwoman, like, that would be the least of your concerns. She was vicious.
She was vicious.
She was as close to what we've seen as like Batflex level of violence and just intensity.
She is as dark as Supergirl is light.
Yes.
So that was fun.
It was.
To see the two of them
and
together.
She's a gadget fighter.
She is a gadget fighter. Very much a gadget fighter. I want to see a whole lot more of that.
Me too.
Yeah. And her design, she just looked great.
When I saw the stills, I was like, this is not good.
Yeah.
When I saw it on screen, they should just stop releasing stills.
Yeah, they should.
Even her shortened cape, which looks stupid in the stills worked so well on really screen. It really worked well. I love that her hair out of the top is a wig.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
it makes so much sense.
I love Kate Kane as much as I love the Batwoman persona. Like they were both great characters.
Yeah, Kate Kane was cool. Like a really different take on what you would expect from the Bat universe.
Yes.
You know, like this affluent Playboy character. And I'll include all of his adopted sons in that too, because they're coming from that side.
She is probably the closest thing we've seen in the Bat universe is probably Jason Todd.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was getting like a Jason Todd feel from her.
Vibe from
she's
her,
rough. Yeah. She's rough around the edges, and she's a rough fighter.
Ooh,
she's not holding back. She's not wrapping her knuckles or anything like that. She's cracking skulls.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is a violent.
So I want to see more of that.
Brawl.
I definitely want to see more of that.
Yeah. Strong agree. I think that was the best reveal. And they didn't overuse her.
No, they didn't. She only existed in...
Because they needed to go to Gotham.
Yes, they existed in the Arrow episode, and then a little for the teaser. For the teaser of Infinite Crisis.
Infinite Crisis, yes.
Yeah.
When she goes and talks to Deegan and gets the skinny on that.
And who's that guy with the gold mask? Is that someone we should know about?
His name is Candyman.
That's already an established character?
He is an established character.
Okay.
And he becomes aware of... That is straight out of Crisis on Multiple Earths.
Because he seems like he's going to be key.
Yes.
To that whole story.
I'm sorry. Candyman.
He is an idiot.
Seriously, because I'm way off.
We found something you're going to edit out.
I'm not going to edit it out.
Big flub.
He is Psycho Pirate. Sorry.
Oh, they sound so
They don't.
Similar.
They look nothing alike. That was Psycho Pirate, who is the catalyst for the crisis.
Just off topic for a second, and then
Candyman. I don't know why I had that in my head.
We'll switch to rants here in just a second. But do you remember the moment you geeked out most in Arrow? Because I remember the thing I geeked out most
in Arrow.
I guess
or the Elseworld.
In the whole kit and caboodle, the last 5 years.
Oh, the last 5 years?
Yeah. There's just one scene that I was like, probably jumped out of my chair.
I've geeked out a lot.
Can I tell you what
mine
in
the last 5 years? Sure.
Do you remember?
Oh,
when Oliver
long time
Queen,
listeners. He is like...
I am a Twitter with glee.
Wow.
Do you
face is lit up, sparkles in the eyes.
It was very early. I want to say season 2.
Okay.
Oliver Queen.
Anything with Slade in it?
No, but Slade was great. I like Slade.
Yeah.
Oliver Queen.
Manu Bennett was fantastic.
Was tracking down
who we later learn is Black Cat. Is that his name? Wildcat?
Wildcat. That was season 2.
And he finds him in his boxing place. Yep. And they have a little skirmish.
Yep.
And Oliver Queen Green Arrow does like this roll on the floor, slams his arrow into a boxing glove, and
boxing
then pulls
glove
it
arrow.
back.
Yep.
It was the perfect way to do boxing glove arrow.
Yes, and then he says something like, "I better not tell anybody about that."
Yes, that is
the boxing glove.
The boxing glove arrow is iconic for Green Arrow, but it does not fit in this telling of Green Arrow. It does not. So to come up with a way to put that into the show was amazing.
That is my one of my favorite moments.
It needed to be said in this episode.
It did,
even though it didn't happen in
boxing glove arrow.
That was so
the way they did it was so smart.
Yes, it was so
I texted you when that happened.
Yes, it was amazing.
It was. The boxing glove arrow. So good.
Okay. Switch it because we've been talking a lot.
Sure.
Let's switch to rants. Do you have any specific rants about Elseworld?
Can I give one more rave?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love Tom Cavanaugh. Mm-hmm. I love all of the different Welleses. I love the Council of Welleses.
Yes.
I also love that they have now found ways to continue to bring back Eobard Thawne disguising himself as Wells.
Yes.
And I love that he is aware.
Yes.
And I love that they have figured out how to appeal to his sense of mischief.
Yes.
That he continues to help them.
Yes.
And oh man, I love all of the Wells.
I agree. Tom Cavanaugh as, I won't give too much away, but the character he played in season 1 was awesome. And
amazing.
Then you're like, oh, we're not going to get Tom Cavanaugh anymore. And then I remember watching it with my wife, like the first episode of season 2, and his name was still in the credits.
Right.
And we were like, what? And they figured out a way to make sure he's still on the show. Yes. He still keeps coming back, and it's amazing, and I love every second of it.
I really thought after last season that was the last we had seen
of Tom Cavanaugh. No, we have Harrison Sherlock.
The greatest detective of the multiverse.
Yes.
Oh,
and I love him so much.
I love him so much.
And I just keep giving me Tom Cavanaugh.
I miss Harry.
I do miss Harry. Harry was good.
But I do love Sherlock.
And you know what? Even when we get a new Harrison Wells and I don't like them, usually by the end, I love them.
Yep.
He just has a way of making you fall in love with his characters.
He's fantastic.
Because even though he's always playing Harrison Wells or someone who fills the role of Harrison Wells, each one is so different.
They are.
And so fun. And it's really showing the versatility of him as an actor.
He's a great actor. Yes. Did you ever see Ed?
No, never saw Ed. It was one of my father's favorite shows. I never watched
show.
It. Yeah.
It was a great show. And I forgot about Tom Cavanaugh for the longest time.
How could you forget about Tom Cavanaugh?
Hey.
Now you never will.
I will never.
Yeah.
I will continue to watch Flash no matter how bad it is just for Tom Cavanaugh.
I'm glad you paused rants to get Tom Cavanaugh.
Thank you.
Because he belongs.
He does.
He belongs.
Last season when they did the Council of Wells.
Sherlock.
And they were all of the lower tier Wells.
The lower tier Council of Wells?
Yeah. Because the Council of Wells will no longer... Because basically...
The Council of Wells will no longer acknowledge the non-super genius Harrison Wells.
Right.
So he has to find other...
I love that, Harrison Wells is basically Rick from Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he very much is. I thought you were going Walking Dead, and I was like,
oh, no.
But yes, he is.
And they're the Council of Wells.
What's the one? Is there one of them that's so much like Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
He's always like, all right.
Yeah, and he's not a genius.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the Council of Wells.
I love
we could do a full episode on the Council of Wells.
We could do it. Maybe we'll throw that up on the Patreon.
We could do a Patreon of who's your favorite.
There is
Wells.
basically a Matthew McConaughey's Lincoln commercials.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yes.
Yeah. And he kind of has a Texas mustache.
Yes, he does. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. And there's one that's a mime.
Oh yeah, the one that's a mime.
There's one that's
there's one that's from a wasteland.
There's one that's from a wasteland.
He's like, oh, Cisco, you're alive in this universe.
Yeah.
I had to cannibalize you a couple of years ago.
Right.
I was like, okay, let's pick a different Wells.
That is dark. There's one that is a Sprockets German, Andy Warhol.
He's always the one that's talking down to the group.
Yes.
Yes.
And
love them all.
And then the newest version is Sherlock Wells.
Sherlock Wells, the greatest detective. Which he's just milking it because he solves the same crime in every universe because he already knows who it is.
Yeah.
What a sham. But I love him.
I love him.
And he already spent all the money they paid him on all of his wives.
His ex-wives.
He's been married 7 times to 5 different women. What? My 5th wife was also my 7th wife.
Yeah.
Okay, rants. Rants specifically about Elseworld.
Okay.
What do you want to start with?
Rants.
We've already talked a little bit about it.
I would like to start with, and we've already touched on this a little bit.
Yeah.
They need to, the end was very weak.
The end was weak.
End was very weak. And I feel like the end was weak because they had the reveal of Crisis. Like, we're finally going to do this. That's all that matters is the Crisis reveal.
Yeah.
The end, like the resolve was weak.
Yes.
It didn't look good.
No.
It didn't play well.
No.
It was lazy.
For as great as the buildup was, it was an unsatisfying conclusion.
It was an unsatisfying conclusion. And it for all the fixes that they made of how good it could be for it to end that week, it makes me question, like, are they going to do Crisis? Are they am I going to like it? Am I going to walk away saying that was amazing?
Yeah, I hope so.
I've given this a 90.
Yeah, you have. It's still the best crossover.
It's still the best crossover. Like, I would give the Alien crossover, I would give that like a 50.
I can't even remember it that well.
I can't tell you what the one after that one was.
I thought that was the first one with Kara.
That was the first with aliens. Yeah, the alien invasion.
Because they had a good alien on their side. Yeah.
I can't tell you what the one after that was or the one after
Oliver had that great scene. Not even a scene. He had the great move where he slid along the car and shot the arrow under the car, ricocheted. Oh, that was great. Yeah. Oliver does some great trick shots.
He does. He's a great archer.
Every year they give us more and more.
Oliver's a great archer.
Yeah. Yep. I like that.
Me too. It was just, but it was really weak.
I would have preferred that they didn't do that final culmination where, like, everyone gets their powers back and then they have to take down Superman. Like, I wish it all ended within, like, that Freaky Friday scenario. And I wish that...
Yeah, I feel like they didn't need Black Suit Superman.
No.
That was, like, something that gummed up the works.
Or just, I'm also even okay with just, like, meshing it all together. So, like, when Barry and Oliver have switched bodies...
switched lives.
Switched lives. The rest, no one else in the world has switched.
Right.
It isn't until they're the Trigger twins, is that what you call them?
That
everyone else has switched.
That could have been the final calibration.
Or if you had just done that from the very beginning, I would have been on board. Like, everyone had switched somehow.
Right.
And
like Iris West is Weather Witch.
Sure.
Like, Barry's married. Barry is Oliver. Oliver is Barry, and he's married to Weather Witch. Or like Amanda Waller.
Or Joe. Like, give her Joe's job.
Sure.
Or even just give them the roles.
Camille's Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. That'd be good. So, I wanted them to just, like, stick with that.
Yep.
And they didn't.
Make it a bigger stretch.
Yeah.
Make it more than, like, 3 episodes, too.
Yeah.
Like, this is this season of Arrow.
This season.
Yeah.
Ooh,
like,
bold.
Yeah.
Bold.
Go bigger,
or half
go home.
Season, yeah.
Half a season, sure.
We already talked about how Supergirl is the rah-rah girl power. Again, I have nothing against girl power. I don't like when it's done this way.
Lois Lane.
Oh,
I know she's a rant for you. She's a rant for me.
She's a big rant for me. I wrote on my thing here, nope, big nope.
Big nope.
I don't think she was written well.
Nope.
I don't think she was used well.
Nope.
She just came off as, like, cocky. And, like, it made me really uncomfortable when, like, she wasn't ragging on Superman specifically, but she was, like, just ragging on men in front of Superman. And he's just like, you're right, honey. It was like, oh, statistically, there's less.
Here's bad writing.
Blah, 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 blah.
At the end of this episode,
yeah,
we find out that she is pregnant.
She's pregnant
with Superman's child because they went off planet to Condor, which has a red sun.
Yep.
So Superman doesn't have his powers.
Superman doesn't have his powers. Yep. It's not a shotgun blast through her stomach, as Kevin Smith would say.
Yep.
And so you gain this knowledge at the end of the event.
Mm-hmm. If you're going to add her, you had to add her before this Elseworld episode.
Yes.
You can't have her jump in.
Like, oh, wait a minute.
Be a badass.
Preggers, like, firing a weapon that might be giving off, like, crazy radiation. Yeah, and just jumped realities, which, like, may, like, warp her.
She gets flung in the air and has to be caught. But, like, that kind of movement, not good.
Not good.
And yet she's still, like... She still has this attitude of like,
women can do anything.
Yes, and like, thank goodness I came, honey.
Right.
And it's like,
good thing I came, or you'd all be screwed.
How about like good partnership? Like literally all you did
that's not a partnership.
Was you were a distraction. If you weren't there because also John and Brainiac came in.
Yes.
That's the same distraction.
Yes.
She didn't have to be there.
Nope.
And it was irresponsible for her to be there knowing that she was pregnant.
Knowing that she was pregnant. Yes.
She knew.
Yes.
So I really didn't care.
Guys, I mean, you could say that we're being misogynistic, but I mean, it's just, it's bad writing.
It is bad writing.
Like, or don't at the end of the episode, don't write in that she's pregnant.
Yeah. But they needed a way for Superman to leave. That you weren't mad at Superman for leaving, blah, 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 blah.
Can I do a quick piggyback onto that?
Sure.
Another rant. Melissa Benoist.
Yes.
Is Supergirl. Great in the role as Supergirl.
She is. I like her.
I do as well. But she is not as good an actor as the guy who plays Superman.
Oh, Superman is
He's
good.
Fantastic. Yeah, like, I said this to you over text. If Henry Cavill doesn't want to be Superman anymore, and they're going to make more Superman movies, please elevate this guy to cinematic universe.
Yeah.
He's great.
He is great.
He's so great as Superman.
Yeah.
And every time he's in the show, it just... like shines a giant bat-shaped spotlight onto how not as good she is as an actor, which maybe it's the writing, maybe it's chemistry. She's not terrible.
No, she's not terrible.
I'm not saying that she's not good as Supergirl.
Yeah.
But when you put her next to
comparison,
him,
it's tough.
It's like, ooh, this is her show. Yeah. That's not good.
And again, to fix the problem, they just removed him.
Or they didn't give her better dialogue. They didn't create better writing.
It was just...
They are just removing him from the universe until they do Crisis. Yes. Basically, like, he's just going to show up in these crossover events now because we got to do something to make Superman cool again.
And that is unfortunate.
It is. And, like... you're so much stronger than me, Kara. The world's in great hands, and that's why I can leave. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why are we doing all this exposition?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Just don't write him into the show.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to be on the show.
Mm-mm.
But the explanation is like, and we talked about this. Like, Superman has to leave, otherwise, there's no reason for Kara.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if he says you're so much stronger than...
Or there's no real jeody in any of her situations.
Yes, because Superman can always show up and see it. So
there's
Superman has to leave.
Yes.
We had a brief exchange about this. You're like, what the... Like, why are they doing this? Like, because it's Supergirl's show and she has to be a superior character to him. Otherwise, there's an inherent flaw with Supergirl.
And instead of just making her better... or writing her better.
Just
remove the parts that are better.
And now it's becoming a thing like they wrote Mon-El off the show. Yes. They wrote Wynn off the show.
They wrote Wynn off the show.
Well, Wynn wanted to leave. They didn't write him off. The actor wanted to leave.
Okay.
That was his first like real attempt to find a role, and it lasted 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And he wants to spend, and he met his wife on the show, and they got married. They had a kid, and he doesn't want to do the show anymore.
Who did he marry?
I don't know. I don't think she was an actor on the show. I think she works on the show.
Someone behind the scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he wants to like pursue other things, but he asked to be written off in such a way that he could come back.
Nice.
So maybe we'll see him in the Crisis.
I hope we do, because I liked him.
I liked him.
I identified a lot with him.
But okay, so Wynn's been written off the show, and like Mon-El's been written off the show, and now Superman's been written off the show. It's like, if we're just gonna like write strong characters off the show,
and also like these characters are strong. I mean, especially Superman. These characters are strong not because they're men, But you're like,
because they're written
well. And like you're giving them these events and these situations where they can prove themselves. Like, why don't you
give those events to Supergirl?
Yes, just give some of those to Supergirl and give less to Superman instead of.
Like Jimmy Olsen's had a great story over the last 2 seasons where like the world knows he's Guardian.
Yeah, he's had such a good story that he might get written off the show.
He might get written off, but like just do that story with Supergirl. Let the world know that Kara Danvers is Kara Zor-El.
And it looks like that's their big cliffhanger. Is she going to reveal herself or not?
But it's not as powerful because they already did it with Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, so it was like, well, why did you have to give it to a guy first? Like, you're making this bigger than it needs to be. Like, you chose to do that. We didn't choose to have Jimmy go first. We didn't choose for Superman to do
your show. You can do it. You
wrote all of these things. Do you not feel confident enough to just have Supergirl do these things first? Do you have to show that well, just because a man does it doesn't mean that Supergirl can't. I agree. I 100% agree. 100% just do that.
Just do that.
I didn't write the Jimmy thing.
I had this discussion with Elise, my wife, not a long-time listener. That's okay.
Not a long-time listener. Well, now we can say anything we want about her.
But I was having this conversation with her, and she's like, I don't think you should talk about this because, I'm like, but wait a minute. My gripe is that it's bad writing.
It is bad writing.
It's bad writing. If you want you're in control of the show. Write what you want to happen.
Exactly.
Don't write it badly. Don't write it in such a way that as a viewer and consumer of this medium, I go, that is unbelievable. That is bad. That is derivative and bad writing. Just do it and do it in a strong, bold way.
The biggest,
give your flag. If the show's called Supergirl,
give
every
90% of your effort to
Supergirl, not your side characters.
Yep. And again, I love Melissa. I think she's doing a great job.
A great Supergirl.
She's as much Supergirl to me as Stephen Amell is
Oliver Queen.
Oliver Queen.
Sure.
But again, it's these situations they're giving her, and it's these. It's all the. Melissa's not the one deciding how Supergirl's going to win,
right?
you know what I mean? It's who's ever writing,
she's an interpretive artist who shows up on set and reads the script that she is given. Yes, and she repeats those lines that are on the page in the best way that she knows how.
Yes, she's not showing up being like,
which is very good.
She's not like, I think Supergirl would win by kicking him in the balls. Right. And they're like, Alyssa, we actually have this really heartfelt monologue we'd like you to do.
I'm just going to kick him in the balls and walk off.
I'm going to hit him in the wiener. No, that is not what Melissa's doing.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I don't think guys, I'm not saying that she's a bad actor.
I'm not.
I'm saying that when the person they've cast as Superman is a phenomenal, like, I think you put him next to Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin, and he outshines them as well.
It's why Stephen Amell had to puff out his chest.
He's very charismatic. He gets Superman.
He does. He really gets.
That shows up and smiles and says encouraging things. And like, it doesn't matter how bad things get. He's going to see the best in people, and he's going to say it and do it in such a way that's going to make you feel good, even when he's kicking your ass and teach you a lesson. Oliver Queen's going to kick down the door and call you a coward.
Yeah.
Like, show yourself, you asshole.
You failed this city.
You failed this reality. I was waiting for him to say that. When Barry tapped into Oliver's powers, he's like, you failed this city. I was like, ah!
Yeah, I love that.
When they started taking on each other's personas.
Yeah, especially because they're like, you have to tap into my darkness. You
have to tap into my carefree spirit.
Yes. You could see Oliver Queen like, no, I'm just gonna figure it out. Like, I'm gonna make this thing run on hatred. Like, it's just gonna happen.
At one point, he did he was just like having a good time on set. You can tell he was just like, it makes for great audio, guys. I'm smiling goofily and giving thumbs up.
Because I follow Steve Amell on social media.
Me too.
He's good on social media, and he posted on the internet right now on set about about this crossover. So it really got me hyped.
He will never be in the cinematic universe for the sole reason that he cannot keep a secret.
It's okay. I'm happy where it is.
I am too.
Let's move on from rants, because we've been talking about this for a while. And
I have one last rant.
This happened with Raves too.
It did.
Yep.
Is the sole reason that they changed Barry's suit in season 5 so that Stephen Amell would be able to wear it?
Seems like a big question, but
it does seem like a big question now that I say it.
I don't know if that's
because the suit
sole
looks
reason.
Stupid.
It does. I'm not a big fan.
All of the suits in the Arrowverse are leather based.
I love basically anytime an Arrowverse character gets a suit, I love it. I don't know who's doing the designs over there, but I love them.
I don't. They posit that Cisco Ramon is making them.
Oh yeah.
Like that's their.
I mean the real
costumer. And they're all like the first four Flash suits they all looked like track suits, like something that a runner would wear to be streamlined.
Yeah.
And they're leather, like it's kind of like a hybrid tracksuit motorcycle suit, because if he falls, you need protection.
Oh yeah.
At running at those speeds.
Yeah, he does.
And they're great instances of like practical real world material applications to costume these characters. And in season 5 of The Flash, they've given Barry like this goofy spandex. It looks like a speed skating suit.
Part of it looks like felt to me.
Part of it looks like felt. And then a half helmet that just covers half of his face. So he's always had like a PVC kind of head mask that has like a chin guard underneath. Very inspired from the New 52.
Remember in the first couple seasons when he was really trying to hide his identity? Now he tells everybody that he's the Flash.
Yeah, he used to do voice modulation.
And he would blur his move his face so fast. And I loved that.
I loved that too. Yeah, that was great. And it doesn't do that anymore.
No, it doesn't do that anymore.
His new costume for season 5 looks like it was bought at Party City. Like, in fact, I'm 90% positive at my parents' house, there's a picture of me like circa 1993 in basically this costume with like red sweatpants and sweatshirt and like a PVC half Flash mask that looks exactly like his mask.
I believe you, except for the 93 part. I think this was 2013.
It was definitely like 92 or 93.
2012, 2013.
Sure.
Yeah.
His new suit.
Yeah, the new suit is
horrific.
You know whose suit I always really liked was Thea's. Her speedy suit.
Her speedy suit.
Loved it.
Is awesome.
And
always loved it.
There's a great instance of like,
I'm really sad she's not on Arrow.
Yeah,
anymore.
me too. But there's an instance. Actually, the whole Arrowverse is pretty good at this. Like,
even Roy's. They were similar.
You don't have to sex up the women. That's not why we like these characters. Nope. Like Thea just looked badass with that leather jacket that's like faded black to red.
Yep.
It's so cool.
And the tunic lace up.
Yeah. Really like it.
Yeah. She carried a sword.
Yeah.
It was very Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
I miss Thea.
Anyway, can you imagine back in like seasons 1 and 2, us saying that? I miss Thea. Remember how much we hated her?
We
hated her so
much.
We treated her like Lois Lane now. She was not a fun character to follow.
Oh my God. We used to rag on her.
Talk about character development, though. That she got to a point where we're like, oh, I miss her. Okay, big questions. BQs.
Is the sole reason they changed Barry's costume in season 5 so that Stephen Amell would fit in it?
Yes.
Side question, how stupid did Stephen Amell look in that costume?
He looked very silly.
Oh my God, he looked ridiculous.
I don't understand why, how come, because this is an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not for Grant. And Grant, I apologize if this was out of your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Why didn't Grant grow some stubble and Stephen Amell go clean shaven? I mean, they had the same lives.
Yeah.
I know it's a very minor aesthetic thing. But like, it looked like this like kid in the Green Arrow thing without the stubble, and it looked like, I don't know what it looked like in the Flash suit, but like
bad.
But
it looked very bad. I wanted to write this down. I can't remember what show it was, but they put a fake mustache on someone, and it was just bad.
And I'm not saying put a fake mustache, but like just don't shave for a couple of days.
I feel like it
Grant.
Was like an episode of Flash this season where they put a beard and mustache on.
Oh, could have been
Grant, and it did not look good. Like it didn't match.
All right, I have a big question in the same vein.
Sure.
when they had each other's lives and powers.
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure he did this. Did Oliver Queen change Barry Allen for him? Because there's this scene outside Arkham before shit gets crazy.
Yes.
Where Grant as Oliver Queen is standing out there in street clothes, and shit starts to get real inside of Arkham, and then there's a flash of lightning around him, and he's in the green Arrow outfit.
Yes. Oliver as Barry changed.
They
Grant
are much closer than I thought. Also, I get the whole doing things fast thing, but like, if you changed me in a fraction of a second, there's no way I'm still standing in the exact same place.
Right.
I'm going to go, what happened?
Please don't do that. Personal space.
I'm pretty sure all of my ligaments just tore because you ripped them up and ripped them down like
at the speed of light.
They are much closer than I thought they were.
Yes, they are. Yeah, that's a good one. So silly.
Okay, you already explained, because I didn't understand the monitor that well because I didn't have the background, and you already explained it to me. So you already crossed out this big question.
Thank you
for mine, and one of my questions that I didn't get was why did he change Oliver and Barry? But I forgot he wasn't the one that changed.
He wasn't the one that did it.
The doc,
and he made fun of John Deegan.
Yeah, that was your big change. Yep, I forgot about that. So look at that. You crossed off that one. You crossed off the Oliver changing Barry. Here's another question. Did you get the feeling that they were almost hinting at starting a relationship between Supergirl and Batwoman? Because I felt chemistry between them more than just...
Yes.
They felt flirty to me.
They were very flirty. We'll see what happens.
I wonder if they're going to go in that direction.
Maybe. Because
Kara can't come back. She really can't be coming back to this Earth many times because she's the only super on her planet now.
She is the only super on her planet. But so here's what the Crisis did.
Okay.
The Crisis collapsed the multiverse.
Oh, so you think we're going to get a universe where
when they did New 52 and Final Crisis, they recreated, Infinite Crisis. When they did Infinite Crisis, they recreated the multiverse.
Okay.
So when we were really reading comics, you might remember like there was Supergirl and Power Girl.
Yes,
in the same, and they could never figure out if they were sisters, clones, like time travel, what they were. Power Girl is the Earth 2 Supergirl.
Correct.
Raised by Golden Age Superman and Lois Lane. They collapsed all of the continuities. Some characters got combined, some got rewritten, some got altered slightly. So the Justice Society was the Golden Age Justice League. Those characters predate the Justice League. Many of them were dead by the time the Justice League rolled around.
Okay.
Or retired. Like Our Man and
his
Power
time was up.
Yeah.
His power ran out.
Do you have one or two more you want to get at?
You have to give me more superheroes.
Sure. Not going to do that. But when they collapsed continuity, the Justice Society and the Justice League coexist at the same time. Even though they collapsed timelines and realities in the multiverse down to one. And so they had a lot of stuff to work through, and they actually did a pretty good job with it.
So are you thinking that's the direction they're going to go with this?
I'm wondering, big question, when they do Crisis, it doesn't say Infinite Earths Multiverse.
Yeah, it just said Infinite Crisis.
Yeah, it said Infinite Crisis?
I'm pretty sure it said Infinite Crisis. Maybe it didn't.
Interesting.
I still have them on my TiVo. I can check it out. Maybe it just said the Crisis.
Maybe it did say Infinite Crisis.
Maybe it just
I have to go back and look. So what that did, it collapsed the multiverse. So I'm wondering if they're going to bring Supergirl and Superman into continuity with...
I would like that.
It would make things a little bit more seamless.
Yes, it would. Yeah, I would like that.
If they existed in the same universe.
I also wouldn't get mad if they just started like...
killing off characters.
And just like mushing the shows together.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Arrow can't have much gas left in the tank.
Yeah.
Like those actors want to do other things.
Well, especially if you're going to bring in like Supergirl and even more metas and stuff like that.
Right, and
the role of
a Batwoman show. the role of Oliver. Yeah. So like, could we
even just the characters themselves?
That's what I mean.
Kind of getting tired of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oliver wants to have his life.
I agree. And there, spoilers for season 7 of Arrow. We're seeing a future in which
I'm enjoying this.
That's my favorite part of this season are the flash forwards. We're seeing a world
I really
in which
like
Oliver
prison, but now that he's out of prison,
Oliver Queen is not the Green Arrow. He's gone. We don't know what happened to him. He left. He just left.
That's been the fun thing about Arrow is that they've always had all these flashbacks.
And now the show caught up to itself.
But the show caught up to flashbacks. Itself, and they're like, well, what are they going to do for flashbacks? Oh, flash forward.
I'm really enjoying seeing Roy as the mentor. Roy.
I do. I am too. Really he's great as that, and I like this older William too, better than the younger William.
William was tough.
William was tough to get through.
Yes.
Nothing against him.
So, like, I mean, I can see, maybe like Wild Dog wants to stay on, or Mr. Terrific wants to they bring them to like Flash or Supergirl or
someone like Mr. Terrific. Definitely, even though he doesn't have powers, fits on a Flash. He fits in a thing like this. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they're going to use the Crisis to do something like that, and we'll see what happens.
I have one final big question.
I hope I have one final answer.
Well, this should be an easy one. What is kryptonite?
Kryptonite are pieces of the planet Krypton.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
that's really what I thought.
There are different kinds of kryptonite.
Yes, but green kryptonite is the one that weakens. But all kryptonite comes from Krypton?
All kryptonite comes from Krypton.
Okay, so then here's my question.
Yes.
Oliver's from an Earth without Supergirl.
Yes.
How does he make a kryptonite arrow?
How does Oliver Queen have a kryptonite arrow?
Yeah.
Do not have an answer for you.
I guess my best solution at an answer is in his universe, Krypton still exploded, but nobody got off. And so there are shards of it on.
Where did he get it?
He dug.
Where?
That island that he got everything.
Everything
he needed was on that island. He got his bow. He got a super secret prison. He got training.
He got his hood.
He got everything he needed on that island, specifically green things. And
oh my God.
Kryptonite is green.
Yeah, that was really poorly explained. That I forgot about that. That is a rant for me.
What, the kryptonite arrow?
The kryptonite arrow.
He had it in another episode too.
He did. I don't know why.
But we haven't talked about it yet. Yeah. So it was time to talk about it.
Did he get it in the Earth X?
Oh, I forgot about that one.
I liked Earth X.
I liked a lot of Earth X.
It was great, except for the resolve.
Yeah, I liked a lot of Earth X.
Earth X was great, where he was.
Everyone was evil.
Yeah, and he was married
to.
Nazis. He was the Führer, and Supergirl was married to her.
Yeah, and he was doing everything he could to save her because she was dying.
Yes. And they need that.
I like that.
He got it in that episode when they were taking away Kara's powers because they were going to do a mind swap to like put Supergirl X into Supergirl's body. They needed her body to save.
And once again,
Nazi Supergirl.
You've given me an A to my Q.
I didn't think I was going to be able to
look at this. Bravo.
He got it when they rescued Supergirl from that. He took the kryptonite.
Bravo.
And kept it.
Bravo. Good job.
Thank you.
So that is Elseworld, guys.
Long-time listeners, the sweat was beating up on my forehead.
It was. I really thought I had you on that one. I really thought my Q was bigger than your A. But not this time.
Never.
So, guys, that's our thoughts on specifically the Elseworld crossover. But, God, we talked about everything.
We did.
We really did talk about everything.
It's fun.
It's fun.
If you haven't watched any of the Arrowverse, it's Flash and Arrow and Supergirl and Legends are all streaming on Netflix. Yep. Who knows how long they'll be there, but
give them a look.
I went back and rewatched season 1 while I was bouncing some audio recently, and man,
I should rewatch.
It is good.
I should rewatch season 1 of Arrow, especially because my wife's never seen it. She came in on 2.
Good.
And she really likes the shows. She really does.
It's really good.
Let's get it out of the way, considering this is the end of the episode. They do fall into the trap of like the CW teen drama romance.
They have since become just like any other CW sappy romance.
But
season 1 is really special.
Set in a universe that we love.
Yeah.
With characters that we
love. And every once in a while, it harkens back to what really made it good.
Yeah. This new Green Arrow, I forgot that there's a new Green Arrow going around.
this person, is all I'll say, is really...
Do you know who it is?
Yeah.
Okay, me too.
Is really putting arrows in people again.
Yes.
It's nice to see.
And Oliver's really having trouble with it.
Yes.
Because it brings up a lot of his early days in the hood.
Yes. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun to see.
Putting arrows in people.
You have failed this city.
Yeah.
Arrow to the chest.
Yep. Also, John Diggle obviously has no problem killing people. He just stopped killing people for
kills
Oliver.
a lot of people.
Yeah. Because there's no way in Argus he's not using live rounds.
He is just killing people left and right.
Yeah.
Even when he's out on the street.
Yeah. I wonder if he kills that many people as Green Lantern on the other Earth.
I mean, hopefully we get to see him in Crisis as a Green Lantern.
I would love it so much.
I really would.
Yep.
I guess that brings us to...
I feel good.
Shades and Sketch Recommendations.
What do you...
Is this the Ferris Bueller episode?
Yeah, I'm going to start adding that to our recommendations.
It is quite
Do you want to start recommendations, or do you want me to start recommendations?
Sure, I'll start recommendations.
Okay, you do it.
I have a first on air. I have to retract a recommendation I made.
Oh,
I want to earlier.
Sassy.
I don't know if this episode came out yet.
Oh,
in our Goonies episode, I recommended.
Oh no,
The Gifted.
The Gifted. Okay,
which is Fox's X-Men expanded universe.
Yeah,
the first season was great, and they brought in a lot of B-tier X-Men characters that I love. Shatter in particular.
Oh, Shatter.
I love Shatter.
I don't know.
Shatter's skin turned to like an indestructible ore. And like as a mutant struggling with his life, put a gun to his head and pulled the trigger. Didn't kill him, but shattered his skin and I was about to say blind in one eye.
Okay.
So they introduced a huge ensemble show. Season 2 has become so derivative. It just focuses on this family. It's become like any other like family drama. I don't care about this family. The dad in the show is Bill from True Blood. I hated him on True Blood. I hate him on this show. So I'm really struggling with it. And I'm really disappointed that they had all of these diverse characters that were like great. I feel terrible for those actors that they've all been killed off, and they have introduced new whitewashed, like very derivative characters that I don't care about, that I've just been introduced to in this season, and they're terrible. It is the worst example of like click, boring casting in a universe that is all about diversity. Don't watch this show. It's god-awful.
So your recommendation in this episode is to ignore
my recommendation from my Goonies recommendation.
Okay.
I believe it was Goonies.
It's a very interesting recommendation.
It is. My actual recommendation.
Oh, we have another recommendation.
Yes. I'm going to recommend We Bare Bears.
Yeah, you're really into that.
I am so into. I love Ice Bear.
Yeah, I've never seen it, so
I highly recommend it.
I lost Cartoon
Season 3 is on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
There are 4 seasons.
Okay.
I have found snippets of other seasons on YouTube.
Okay.
I am at the point of like, if there are DVDs, I'm going to buy DVDs. If it is on Prime, I am going to buy them on Prime. I love this show. We Bare Bears focuses on 3 brother bears. They're not real brothers. One is a grizzly bear, one's a panda, one's a polar bear. Grizz is like the older brother, super outgoing, sees the best in everyone. Panda is socially awkward and obsessed with social media and his phone. And Ice Bear, who's the polar bear, talks in the third person, is obsessed with axes, and is a master chef.
Axes?
Yes. Okay. He at night, he gets into the refrigerator and snuggles his axe.
Okay.
And I love this show. It's a great metaphor for life and adulthood. But like Simpsons and South Park and Family Guy and American Dad are like super crass about like dealing with adult problems. And this is just a sweet, innocent show about like life and family. And it's wonderful.
Wow.
We've determined that Elise is Grizz and I am Ice Bear. And that
just leaves Panda.
Yeah. Well, we don't have a third person in our...
I'll be your panda.
You'll be our panda? No,
I'm socially awkward.
Yeah, you could be Panda.
I could be Panda.
The bears, when they travel, they stack.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of that. Yeah.
And it is amazing. We recently saw the episode where they stacked for the first time playing basketball, and they are mentored by Charles Barkley.
Nice.
And it's just a great, when they stack for the first time, it is magical.
A magical moment.
Yeah, it is. It's just, wow, what a great show.
Please
watch We Bare Bears. I hope it goes on forever and ever and ever.
You'll be an old man in the Geeking Out retirement home going, where were you when the 3 Bare Bears stacked for the first time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I cannot get enough of this show.
Okay.
So don't watch The Gifted. Watch lots of We Bare Bears.
Do watch We Bare Bears.
Yes.
Okay.
Please and thank you.
Great.
It's a great show.
I am going to recommend a real guilty pleasure.
Uh-oh.
That my wife and I, we're just having a wife episode. My wife and I got into recently. We started watching Nailed It on Netflix.
Wait, this is someone else was talking about Nailed It today. Oh, I can't.
I've been with you literally all day long.
Oh, I was listening to an episode of a podcast today, and they plugged it.
Well, Nailed It.
What is Nailed It?
Okay,
about?
Nailed It is, there's all these like cooking and baking competitions.
Yes.
So it's a Netflix-produced baking competition based on the internet phenomenon of Nailed It, if you've ever seen that, where like someone posts a picture of a Pinterest project and then how they made it.
Right.
It's always horrible.
Right.
And they say,
Nailed it. Yes. Okay.
And so the competition is 3 amateur bakers who are shown like a professional thing, and they have a time limit.
Recreate it.
And very simple, basic instructions on how to recreate it. Okay. And then it's judged by the host, who is Nicole Byer, I think her name.
Yep.
Who's hilarious. She comes off so strong that I thought she was gonna like annoy the bejesus out of me, but she doesn't. Like, she's great on this show. And this chocolatier who I've grown to just adore. He's just a lovely, lovely man. And then they always have a guest judge as well. And here's the thing. I wrote it down as my recommendation because it's just a fun, no-frill show. You don't have to think about it. Sure. We watch it during dinner when we're just like just kind of relaxing from a long day. It's just a feel-good show. And even though these people are like failing and like the judges are making fun of them, it's like in good spirits. Like it's in good spirits.
Sure.
And they're usually like saying like, see, you can. Isn't it amazing though that you got this far at least? Yeah. Like, what did you learn today? Like, it has a real positive message. On the last, they did a very special holiday season for this last one. The last episode, the guest judge is Jason Mantzoukas. Yes! And it is hilarious. It is like the funniest half hour of television I've watched in all of 2018. The things he does, the things he says. I mean, imagine. So he's talking. I'll give you this one thing.
It's one little
gem. He's talking to the bakers. They're describing the challenge, and he goes, "Oh, and bakers, by the way, I have a life-threatening allergy to eggs, so you cannot use any eggs anywhere in the recipe. I'm not kidding about this." And the contestants are like, "Is he serious?" And if you've listened to like anything with Jason Mantzoukas, you know that this is true. He has a life-threatening allergy to eggs, and here he is judging a baking competition from amateurs. And it's just hilarity ensues.
Do any of them use eggs?
No, they're very good about it. And you can tell
you can't trust anything Mantzoukas says, except
no, you really can't, except
this one thing.
And you can tell he's really friends with Nicole in real life.
Oh yeah,
and they play
Nicole Byer and
so
Mantzoukas
well
and Jessica St. Clair are all like they have great chemistry.
Good BFFs. They are. If you only watch one episode,
watch the Mantzoukas episode.
The final episode of the Nailed It holiday season that just came out on Netflix. It's well worth your time.
Fantastic.
If you like a laugh.
All right.
Ah, man.
Sketch, you going to take anything from this episode?
I am. I think it goes without saying, there's a lot to take. There is a lot to take.
The mantle's getting kind of full.
I'm just going to expand the mantle. I just got to tack on another board.
Build another mantle.
I don't think I can leave the Arrowverse without taking this Star Labs Captain Cold Gun.
That's a good choice.
It's pretty freaking sweet.
That's a good choice.
And I've loved it since the very beginning.
That is true. You have.
Yeah. You going to take anything?
I am.
What are you going to take?
I'm going to take this Bow, Arrow, and Hood.
Oh, I thought you were going to take, what's his name? The little doll. What's the little doll's name?
Bebo! I love how Bebo keeps coming back.
He keeps popping up.
I love how he keeps popping up. He was
so dumb in Legends, but in a really dumb season. It made sense. And now he just keeps showing up.
He just keeps showing up.
All right, so you're taking a Hood, a Bow.
An arrow.
Oliver's going to be pissed.
He is. Look, let's be honest. He's got plenty.
He does have plenty at this point.
Do you remember in season 2 when his mom died and he has like a whole other secret arrow cave that nobody knew about? And it's got like a complete setup of all his gear. And they're like, oh, what is this place, Oliver? It's like, before I set up in the foundry, I knew I was going to like be on the run all the time. So I have all of these safe houses scattered all over Starling Series City.
I do vaguely remember that.
He has plenty of these.
That's kind of like the line in the Spider-Man PS4 game with collecting all the backpacks.
Yeah.
Spider-Man has won like all this money from the Fisk Foundation. And he's like, I didn't take the money, of course, but I did take the lifetime supply of backpacks.
Yeah. All right.
Oh man, this one.
Listeners, thank you for joining us.
This one was a long time coming.
It was.
This one was a long time coming.
These shows are our guilty pleasure.
They are.
They really are. They're very derivative at this point. They're all in they're well into their seasons and establishment, and they are like boiled down to their tropiest of all tropes.
Gosh, is it fun?
It's so fun.
When it's fun, it's fun, and when it's bad, it's bad. And right now we're in a fun. Now we're in a fun phase.
We're in a fun phase,
and that's nice.
It is. Guys, if you are a fan of the show, we would really appreciate a rating and review. And I know there are a lot of platforms out there that let you listen without subscribing, but it really does make the difference, especially in an independent show such as ours, in terms of searchability and whether or not we are put in front of new listeners in their algorithm. So we would kindly, if you haven't done it yet, appreciate a rating, review, and a little subscribe.
Especially because I think right now we're in our fun phase.
We are in our fun phase.
I don't think we're in a slump right now. I think we're in our fun phase.
I'll admit, there was a while we were in a slump there in a couple episodes. I listened back for a while.
We hated each other.
Well, we hadn't figured out we could stockpile episodes.
We hated each other.
There were those like 2 years where we didn't talk to each other at all. When we were both doing our masters.
Oh.
That was a rough time.
I hated doing my masters.
I also hated it. Took me 3 years to do mine.
I almost wake up daily, like just thanking my lucky stars that I'm all
never have to get another masters. Sketch, this is not the masters episode.
That would be filled with rants.
It really would. This all rants, no raves, and so many questions.
We both have a master's, and we just talk about cartoons on the internet. Wow.
Winning.
Money well spent on those.
You can also email us at gowithshadesandsketch@gmail.com.
You can help us pay off our student loans at Sally Mae.
Patreon.com/shadesansketch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can reach out to us on Twitter at Shades and Sketch.
Or you
individually
can find Sketch at Go for Sketch.
And if you want to talk to Shades, don't know why you would. I spend enough time doing it, but you can at Go for Shades.
You can also find us on Facebook at Geeking Out or by searching Shades and Sketch. And our website is shadesandsketch.weebly.com.
We're everywhere.
We're all over the place. We are taking over the internet. We are coming to a bar and bath mitzvah near you.
Are we starting to do bar and bat mitzvahs?
Yeah.
I'd actually love that.
We will MC your child's birthday party.
Yeah, I would do that too.
Yeah. We will host your Comic-Con panel.
That'd be sweet.
It would be.
One day.
One day we'll get there. Thanks for podding with me, Sketch.
As always. And longtime listeners,
we will see you next time.
See you next time.